Plan your day before the world does it for you. Do not begin in chaos. Do not begin by reacting. Do not hand your time, your energy, and your priorities over to whatever shows up first. That is how average people live. On defense. Constantly responding. Constantly putting out fires. Constantly wondering where the day went. You cannot lead your life from a place of reaction. If you don't decide what matters most before the day begins, everything will feel important. Every message will feel urgent. Every task will feel necessary. And you'll spend your time being busy instead of effective. You'll go to bed tired, but not fulfilled. Worn out, but not tired. Planning is not about having a perfect calendar. It's not about micromanaging every hour. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what matters most today, and then making space for it. Creating room to go deep, focus, to execute. Because you cannot do high-level work when you're guessing what to do next. That means you must build a planning ritual, a repeatable rhythm that grounds you before you begin. Maybe it's at night, maybe it's first thing in the morning, but it happens before the noise hits, before your inbox, before the television, before the world gets loud. Because once it does, it's already too late. You begin by asking one question. What does winning look like today? Not how much can I do, not how busy can I stay, but what moves the needle? What action, if done today, will make the biggest difference in the goals, in the discipline, in the character? That is your target. Then you structure the rest around it. You don't try to do everything. You focus on what matters. You block the time. You protect the time. You don't let it get buried under emails, calls, errands, and noise. You treat it like it's sacred, because it is. Because your future depends on it. This habit forces you to live intentionally. It makes you stop, think, choose. You're not just drifting into your day, you're designing it. You're stepping in with purpose, with clarity, with leadership. That is how momentum is built. One clear day at a time. And when you do this consistently, something shifts. You start to feel less overwhelmed, less scattered, less behind. Because now you know what to say yes to. More importantly, you know what to say no to. Every decision no longer feels like a crisis. You've already made the most important ones. You build confidence. Not the kind that comes from talk, but the kind that comes from progress. Because now, your goals are being translated into action. Now your time is serving your purpose. Now you're living in alignment instead of in reaction. Planning builds integrity. Because once your plan is on paper, it becomes a commitment. It becomes something you measure yourself against. Did I follow through? Did I stay on task? Did I live today the way I said I would? That level of honesty sharpens you. It holds you. It protects you from your own excuses. And you're not doing it for productivity's sake. You're doing it for discipline, for alignment, for identity. You're saying, this is who I am now. Someone who doesn't live at the mercy of distraction. Someone who doesn't leave my direction up to chance. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first, because structure feels restrictive when you're used to chaos. But over time, you'll start craving it, because structure brings peace. You no longer wonder what to do. You no longer guess. You just execute. You move with clarity. You win the day. So build the habit. Sit down. Write it out. Even if it's messy. Even if it's 5 minutes. Do it anyway. Stack your priorities. Schedule them. Honor them. And repeat until it's who you are. Until you no longer need to think about it. Because it's just how you live. Guard your focus. Not casually. Not when it's convenient. Relentlessly. Because focus is not something you're born with. It's not a personality trait. It's a discipline. A skill. And if you don't build it, the world will destroy it. We live in a world that profits from your distraction. That's not theory, that's reality. Everywhere you turn, someone's trying to steal your attention. A headline, a commercial, a quick dopamine hit. And if you let them, they'll run your life. Not because you don't care, but because you didn't choose to care about the right things. Focus is your most valuable asset. Because time without focus is wasted. Energy without direction is scattered. Discipline without clarity burns out. But when you lock in, when your attention sharpens, you become powerful. You move differently. You execute faster. You go deeper. But you have to protect it. That means fewer tabs open. That means one task at a time. That means building blocks of uninterrupted work, not hoping for them, scheduling them, defending them, creating boundaries around them like your life depends on it, because it does. You cannot become elite while multitasking. You cannot master your craft if you're distracted every 5 minutes. You cannot make clear decisions when your mind is flooded with fragments. Every distraction costs you more than you think. It's not just the seconds you lose, it's the momentum, the depth, the mental rhythm. And once that rhythm breaks, it takes time to rebuild. So build a system. Start with small windows, 25 minutes, 35 minutes, no distractions, no TV, one task, full effort. then rest, then repeat. This is not about working longer. It's about working deeper. It's about training your brain to stay in the work long enough to do something meaningful. And if you do this consistently, your mental stamina expands. What used to feel impossible becomes your new baseline. You no longer need to constantly switch tasks. You stop chasing stimulation. You start seeking focus. And your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy. You begin to feel something rare. Peace. Not silence. Not boredom. Peace. The kind that comes when your mind is present. When it's not being hijacked every few minutes. When you're in control, not your inbox, not your impulses. That kind of peace is powerful. It makes you calmer in pressure, sharper in decision-making, stronger in execution. Because you're not scrambling anymore. You're anchored, you're grounded, you're intentional. And that's when your life starts to speed up. Not because you're doing more, but because you're doing less with more force.